Hi everyone, welcome back to the I Don't Even Know podcast. I'm Em. I hope you all are doing well. This episode is going to be kind of all over the place. I mean, let's be real, I'm pretty sure all the episodes are, but probably more so. Because this is just going to be an episode of me ranting about Chenford so far this season. Because there's so much, I just need to let it all out because I don't have people to talk to. And I probably do. I could talk to my best friend about it because she lets me rant to her about shows, even though she hasn't seen half of them. But because of college and I'm on break and she's not, I can't right now because we're so busy. So, best believe I will be doing it soon. But for now, I'm going to do it on here and just go crazy. It's going to be a disaster, but I needed to do it. Because, it's the first full season of, Chenford as a couple, and it's my first season watching it live, because I watched it, 2 months ago. Back in January is when I watched the show for the first time, and I got invested, and I was so excited for season 6, specifically because of Chenford. Obviously, that's one of the reasons I love the show so much, and I was so excited to see them together as, a couple, of course, and, I knew it was going to be rough. It's not bad yet. It's getting there. But I'm not mentally prepared for, the upcoming episodes. So far, we've been getting fed. We got angst in episode 1, which I like angst. And I think I've said this in an episode before. I like angst with specific couples. But there are some that I don't want, any angst with them because they're too perfect and I'm scared and I don't want stress. And honestly, Chenford is one of them that, I'm stay away. Even though, let's be real, I am eating it up. I'm having a great time, but I'm also stressed. And so, I'm kind of I want it, but then I don't. So we had that. Episode 2, we had angst. We had I love you, all that. Incredible, show-stopping, I died. Episode 3, we had domestic Chenford. Everything. I literally had a meltdown. And then we had, a 3 week, I think it was 3 weeks. It felt like a year. Honestly, it felt so fucking long. For me, it felt longer than the month I had to wait for season 6 to come out after I finished the show. It's I don't know what was going on, but it just felt so long. And to be honest, I feel like it felt long because we knew about Lucy going to the hospital and how that was gonna happen. It's I remember when the pictures of her in the gown came out. I don't remember what it was, but I do remember it was after I, of course, finished the show. So I was following Chenford people on Twitter because it was I needed to get into it. I wanted to be a part of that on Twitter because it's so much fun. And I remember seeing that, and everyone was flipping out, myself included. I was screaming in my room. I was oh my gosh. Because, we've gotten, Lucy in the hospital, Tim in the hospital, and, them together and, supporting each other in the hospital. We've gotten that. When the Day of the Dead, which, insane episode. Oh, my gosh, one of my favorites of the show. We got, Lucy, in the hospital with Tim by her side, and then when Tim, something with his spine back bullet thing. You know what I'm talking about. That she was there for him, but that was before, they were a couple. In season 5, it's when, we knew they liked each other, and that was the whole thing, but it was before they were a couple. Knowing that they were, a couple, or, are a couple in the scene, had me freaking out when, it dropped, and I think everyone else, too, because, oh my gosh, I could not, not I was trying to avoid, but the amount of tweets about that I saw on my page were insane. Now I see more Chenford tweets than anything else, which, honestly, I'm here for, because I don't really say anything on Twitter. It's a rare thing that I'll pop up and say something. It's very rare, because Twitter terrifies me. But I love being on it because of Chenford fans, because I love reading the theories. I love knowing that I'm not the only one who's flipping the fuck out, because I'm a little too invested. And it's scary sometimes because it's like, not my whole personality. Like, I have other things, but it's like, it's just, I don't know, I'm just so invested. Like, there are some shows for me that I'm just, like, so invested in that it's like, I'm like, that is, like, not everything, because I'm not insane, but you know what I mean. Like, I get into all, like, or almost all shows I watch, but there are specific ones that I'm, like, super fucking invested in, and, like, I adore it, like, everything, like that. And Rookie has become one of those, but I think it's because Chenford. I think if it wasn't for Chenford, I would be into it, but I wouldn't be as into it as I am, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, I like Nolan, kind of. He pisses me off sometimes, and I like the other characters, but it's, like, they're it for me. Like, my top 3 characters on The Rookie are Lucy, Angela, and then Tim, and then 4 is Nyla, and 5, no idea, to be honest. But, you know, that they're the reason, and they're the reason I'm, like, so into this season, and, like, into the season, like, kind of a scary amount. It's like, when I tell you, the past 3 weeks, like, leading up to episode 4, I was a disaster. I was so on edge every single day because I wanted it to be the 26th, I think that's, 26th. I wanted it to happen, and I just, like, I could not, it was insane. It was like, over the summer when Nancy Drew was airing. If you watch Nancy Drew, I'm not sure if, like, some of you have. Probably some of you haven't. But if you have, like, you know what I mean? If you haven't, you should watch it. I was kind of like that, like the way I'm with Chenford, with the ship from that as well. And it really became my personality over the summer. And I was anxious all the fucking time because they had the most angst in the world. And it was just a complete shit show. And, like, thankfully, they didn't have any breaks. Like, they had no breaks. It was just a week, and we got an episode. But, like, every day until a new episode, I was on edge. And that's what's happening with The Rookie. And it's even worse because they're taking 3-week breaks, which is so unnecessary, and it makes me want to cry. Like, what do you mean after episode 6, we have another break? Like, I'm really hoping that's a lie. I really am. Because I don't think I'm going to, like, be able to, like, survive. I don't know, I'm scared because we only have 10 episodes this season, and of course, like, I don't want it to end, but I don't want them to take breaks. And, like, I'm hearing that it's, like, normal for them to take breaks, but it's like, I can't deal with that, okay? Especially what's going on with Lucy and what we know is going to happen with Chenford coming up. It stresses me out. Like, I know I'm going to be a disaster after episode 6, waiting 3 weeks. Like, the way I was for episode 4, and we, like, knew nothing, basically, about Lucy. At least we knew other things, but the stuff I really cared about, we didn't know. And because episode 6 is the beginning of, like, the Tim-centric episodes, because I'm pretty sure it's 6, 7, 8, and, like, episode 5 kind of leads up to it, I know they're going to end on a cliffhanger. It's probably going to hurt my feelings, and then I'm going to be a disaster for, like, 3 weeks or however long it takes. And it's like, if I'm a disaster waiting a week for a new episode, I don't know what it's going to be like, because I'm a mess, like, already, and it's been 2 days since the new episode. Actually, it hasn't even been 2 days yet. It will be officially, like, 48 hours in, like, 30 minutes, I think. But, like, it's like, I'm already a disaster, and I'm already desperate for episode 5, specifically because the synopsis. And if you know, you know. It said something about, like, okay, most of it was about John and Bailey, like, whatever. I like them, but, you know, don't care as much. And then, of course, at the end, someone from Tim's past shows up or something, and he leaves Lucy in the dark. That has been on my mind since it came out, and I don't remember when the synopsis came out. I don't remember, but I just remember I have not stopped thinking about it since then. And when the stills come out, which probably they'll come out tonight or tomorrow, because I think they might come out tonight, last week they came out at this time for episode 4. So maybe, I'm hoping, I don't know. But I've just been on edge because of that. Like, what the hell do you mean? I've been through enough with them. Like, they haven't had, they had angst in episode 1, part of episode 2, but this is concerning. And I'm, like, worried it's going to be really, really rough. Especially because, oh my gosh, Lucy cannot catch a damn break, and I'm sick of it. Like, can she just have a break? I'm sorry, but, like, she needs one. My poor girl has been going through it. And I think Tim leaving her in the dark, I really don't know what's going to happen, but I think that's just going to, like, break her. And, like, that's going to make her snap. And I'm seeing so many people on Twitter being like, oh, Lucy's villain era is coming. I'm fully down. Like, I will fully support her if she enters her villain era and just takes no bullshit. Like, I am so here for that. I will defend that girl with my life. Like, she deserves to be pissed off. She deserves to go in that villain era because everyone's giving her the hardest time ever. Like, episode 1, she had, like, her and Tim were kind of, like, okay, to be fair, I was kind of on Tim's side. I love her, but I was on Tim's side for that. But she was stressed about that and, like, the exam and all that. And then she, of course, didn't get detective. And, like, that's upsetting. Like, that's obviously really upsetting for her. And she's kind of trying to dial it back and, like, not let it, affect that much. And then with everyone kind of being a bitch to her last episode, girl is going to snap. And I'm nervous because, like, I want her to be okay. But, like, she deserves, like, I want her to go off at everyone besides Tim and Tamara, which Tamara hasn't done anything wrong, so, but I need her to go off at people because, first of all, why were Angela and Nyla being kind of, like, bitches to her last episode? Like, am I the only one who thought that? I mean, actually, I saw tweets about it, but please tell me, like, I wasn't seeing things. Like, they weren't being awful, but they were being kind of rude, and it pissed me off because didn't Angela, like, not get detective and not right away, and, like, she didn't do well on the test, or she did, but something happened? Because I'm pretty sure that happened at one point, and I'm like, if you're giving Lucy a hard time because of that, like, fuck you. Like, Angela, I love you, but you literally, like, something like that happened to you. And the difference is, like, Lucy deserves to be a detective. I mean, first of all, I'm not saying Angela didn't deserve to be a detective. I'm just saying that Lucy, like, the reason she's not and she didn't score well is because that motherfucker's after her. Or Prim, whatever the hell that name is, deserves death. I hope someone kills him. Sorry, but it's the truth. I really hope, like, she, like, does something. But, like, oh my gosh, like, that poor girl can't catch a break. And then, like, she's already kind of spiraling. Not completely yet. But when she was, like, telling Nyla and Angela, like, just, I'm gonna run. Like, just shoot him if he pops up. So, like, she didn't get shot. That was so unlike her. That's when I knew. I was like, okay, like, girl is going through it, like, right now. Like, that's just not like her. Like, she takes risks, obviously, but she's not, like, the person to just do something that insane. Like, she's trying to prove herself to Prim and everyone, saying she deserves to be a detective. And I get why she's doing it, but that was so dangerous. You don't understand how terrified I was. Remember, I was in my room, I was, like, laying in my bed, watching with my stuffed animal, having not a grand old time. I was very stressed, but I was just chilling, drinking my Dr. Pepper, having a decent time. And then this girl just decided to start running when, like, people with, like, without having any protection. Like, she had the bulletproof vest, but you know what I mean. Like, what the hell? And then that's what, like, when I thought she was, like, gonna get shot, and that's what happened. That's why she was in the hospital. And it looked like that for a second. Oh my gosh. When she fell to the floor, I, like, literally turned, like, I stopped and, like, walked away for 5 minutes because I thought she got shot, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, this cannot happen to her. Like, I don't want anything bad happening to her, especially right now because she's just, like, going through it. But, like, oh my gosh, I wanted to die. I almost cried because I was like, oh my gosh, like, when I said I wanted, like, feral Tim and, like, him freaking out over her, that I did not mean I wanted her to get shot or anything. So, like, that had me stressed out. Thankfully, it was just her walkie-talkie? No, it's radio. Why did I say walkie-talkie? It looks like one. Her radio, thankfully, which, honestly, she should be grateful. She probably is. Because it's a miracle it hit that instead of her. Like, oh my gosh. And she's probably already traumatized from that. And then having to shoot the guy. And, like, what pissed me off, too, about that was when she was in the hospital, like, no one was with her. And, like, or these two people were, like, watching her. And, like, she didn't have anyone comforting her until Tim showed up. Like, bless his soul. Because why was everyone being, like, so rude? I mean, they weren't really, but it just, everyone was pissing me off with the way they were treating her, besides Tim and besides Wade. That's his name, right? Wade Gray? Yeah, Gray. We're calling him Gray because I'm almost certain it's Gray, Wade, but I'm used to saying Gray. He was somewhat decent to her as well because he's a nice person, but it's like, could somebody be in there and just talk to her and tell her it's okay? Because it's not like she did anything wrong. She had to do it. He was gonna shoot her. It was self-defense. It wasn't like Nolan. I mean, that guy was probably gonna shoot Nolan in season 1 or season 2, whenever it was. You know what I'm talking about. But, like, she didn't do anything wrong. And I'm so worried because she felt so guilty. And, like, of course, he's alive right now. But when Wesley said, like, if he dies, we'll, like, come back and just, we'll have to deal with it again. That made me feel like they're foreshadowing him dying. I think, honestly, that's going to happen next episode. He's going to die. And then Tim leaves her in the dark. And Girl's just going to snap. And I'm scared. I'm so nervous because, like, oh my gosh, that poor girl has been through enough. She's gotten attacked by a serial killer, abducted, almost like had a shitty boyfriend. Shout out to Chris, you suck. I don't know what else. Her mom, pain in the ass. I'm pretty sure her dad was at one point too. Her best friend dying. Like, oh my gosh, can she just... I miss her being happy. Like, I saw an edit, like, before I did this on Twitter of, like, her last season, and it made me cry because I'm like, oh my gosh, that poor girl. I have not seen her this happy. That happy so far this season. Like, a little bit when her and Tim were, like, saying, I love you and all that stuff. But other than that, no. And it's just, like, so upsetting because she deserves the absolute world. And it's like, oh my gosh, I just need her happy. It's just so unfair. Because I'm just, all I can think about is how worried I am for her next episode with the Tim thing. Because, like, that's going to push her so much. It's just, like, I really do think this season, though, like, we are, like, going to get her, like, more about her mental health. I think they're kind of going that route. Especially because I know Melissa at one point said, like, she had some rough scenes. So, like, I'm worried. But I'm happy they're touching on that. Because they have, I'm pretty sure. But I really want them to go in depth of it. Especially right now with, like, her dealing with, like, failing the detective's exam. Like, not feeling, like, enough, basically. And then, you know, Tim. That whole thing. Like, oh my God. Like, I'm not... Episode 5 is going to be an actual shit show, and I'm so mad that I'm on break this week instead of next week. Like, in the moment, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so happy I'm on break, and time for the rookie to return. But then, knowing me, I don't know how I'm going to function after episode 5, and I'm going to have to go to class the next day, like, all, all messed up, and be like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, I was a disaster after episode 4, but I think I'm going to be even more of a mess episode 5, and then probably episode 6 with the Tim-centric episodes, because I don't know what they mean by someone from his past, and then that's going to, like, lead up to, like, these 3 big episodes about him, which I'm here for, because obviously, like, Tim's my guy. I adore that man with my whole heart. He's perfect, but, like, what do you mean, and who's coming back? That's what's stressing me out, because we don't know anything. Like, some people think it's his mom, even though I'm pretty sure Eric said somewhere that he's hoping in season 7 they introduce the mom, because apparently they didn't this season, which I am upset about. I kind of wanted the mom to show up. I feel like that would be interesting, unless she's dead. I mean, we don't know. So it's, like, probably not that. Some people said it's the dad, and he's, like, alive, because we never saw his funeral, which maybe. I kind of forgot he died. Maybe he didn't even die. I don't know. And then, who else? I'm hearing people say, like, somebody from, like, the military, like, from back then. I'm hearing, like, exes. Some people. I need to talk about this, because it's about Chenford. I'm going to. I saw people talking about it on Twitter, about, like, Chenford fans and Ricky fans on TikTok. And I didn't really know, like, how, like, dumb some of the things they were saying until I actually started seeing them. Like, the amount of ones that, first of all, like, think that Tim is, like, wait, what was I going to say? Leaving Lucy. Like, first of all, he's not leaving Lucy. He's just kind of leaving her in the dark. Not, like, physically, like, you know, hopefully. I mean, we'll have to see. But you know what I mean. Stuff like that. But the stuff that's really pissing me off is I'm seeing people say that he is going to cheat on her. Or, like, I'm seeing stuff about how Rachel's coming back, and they technically never broke up. Like, yeah, okay, they basically did, you know? And I'm also hearing stuff about whatever that girl's name is, the lifeguard. Don't know her name. I didn't like her. I want to say it's Amanda, but I'm probably wrong. So, like, her, but, like, a big thing people are saying is he's going to cheat on her with Isabel. And I'm like, no. Like, first of all, Tim would never cheat on Lucy. Like, you gotta get that into your brain. Like, yes, he almost did cheat on the lifeguard, but that was with Lucy. He wouldn't cheat on her. Like, let's get that straight. If he ever did, I'm blaming the writers, not him, because that is their fault. You know damn well that man would never do that. Like, he loves her so much. He would never do that. I don't think he would, like, cheat on almost anyone besides the lifeguard, but that was just because of Lucy. I think he would cheat on someone for Lucy, you know, or with Lucy, you know what I mean? But I'm seeing that, which he would not do that. I don't know what else I'm seeing. That was the big one. So he's not gonna cheat on her. Like, if the writers ever did that, I would want to die, because it's, like, that's so out of character. Like, I hate when writers, like, write something for a character that's just, like, something they would never do. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. I can't right now, but I know there are, like, times that the writers write something in, makes no sense for the character, like, and everyone knows the character would never do that. It's just for the drama. So, they better not ever do anything like that. I doubt they will. Like, there's no way in hell they're making Tim cheat on Lucy. Like, my guy is down bad for her, and he would never do such a thing. Like, damn. I don't know what else people on TikTok are saying, 'cause, like, that's the thing I've heard of the most, or about the most, I think. I'm pretty sure that's, like, the theory that I've heard about the most. I'm just hearing a lot, and it's stressing me out, because, of course, I don't know. And then, just knowing the Tim-centric episodes are coming stresses me out, especially because, oh my gosh, episode 6, I think it's episode 6, or it's one of the Tim-centric episodes, Melissa said somewhere that there's, like, a vulnerable Chenford scene that reminded her, kind of, or something, of the Queen Charlotte scene of Charlotte and, why can I not think of that man's name? What the hell? I'm looking it up, because I've watched Bridgerton, I've watched Queen Charlotte, incredible, but I cannot, George. I was about to look it up, but then I remembered George. Charlotte and George. That vulnerable scene, I don't remember what episode it was, but it was them fighting, and it was, like, a mess, and, like, gut-wrenching. I just remember I bawled my eyes out. And knowing that that's coming terrifies me. Because if that got me crying, like, Charlotte and George's, like, vulnerable scene, like, if anything, if Chenford is actually doing anything like that, I'm done. I don't think I'm gonna survive. I will die and probably not be able to go to class the next day. It's like, just knowing that stressed me out, especially because I watched the show. Like, some people, like, I saw on Twitter, like, them talking, saying they have no idea what that scene is, like, what, they don't know what Melissa was talking about. Because I watched the show, I'm stressed, I'm nervous, and I want to cry, because I don't think I can handle, I want good scenes, I do, I want it, but then I also don't, but then I know I'm gonna eat like the vulnerable scenes up. I'm so nervous, especially with their acting, because they're so good. Melissa's acting recently, I mean, it's always been incredible, but last episode, oh my gosh, girl was acting through. That was insane. Like, she had me bawling my eyes out just because of her acting performance. Like, when she was in, like, the hospital and, like, talking to Tim, and, like, she was bawling her eyes out, I'm like, oh my gosh, that had me sobbing. And then when Tim said, let's go home, I was deceased. I was gone. He couldn't talk. I did not talk to anyone for, like, an hour after that, because I just kept replaying it in my head, because, oh my gosh, I'm terrified. It's so nerve-wracking, and I don't know if I knew I was going to be this invested in the rookie. I don't know if I would have started it, because it's really not good. I feel like I probably should have started in the summer, so I didn't have to deal with it, like, while I'm dealing with school. Because thankfully, like, even though I'm obsessed, I can focus on other things. And, like, I do all my work, like, that's not a big deal. But it's, like, it's always in the back of my mind, and when I'm not, like, working on something, it's what I think about, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm gonna die. Like, so much is coming up, and other than that, we, like, don't know anything. Like, all we know is Tim-centric episodes. Tim leaves Lucy in the dark. No idea what else. Especially in the Tim-centric episode, like episode 6. He's not in the synopsis. And I feel like that's probably because they didn't want to spoil anything. But like, that freaks me out. They weren't in the promo for episode 5. Probably because they're trying to hide stuff. That scares me. Tamara's coming back in episode 5. That doesn't scare me. Kind of. I mean, I'm so happy to see her, because I love Tamara and I love Dylan. But like, it worries me, because I'm like, fuck, like, Lucy's gonna lose her mind. Like, something's happening with Lucy. Like, she's gonna spiral. So we got that. What else? We don't have the stills for next episode, which scares me so much. Like, and just the synopsis for next episode, the fact that all we know is Tim leaves Lucy in the dark. That's literally all we know. And that stressed me out for many reasons, obviously. Also because last episode, for the synopsis, I don't think Lucy was in it. And they didn't say anything to her. And I think they didn't say anything about the detective's exam in episode 3 in the synopsis, because they're trying to, like, hide it and, like, have a surprise. And that concerns me, because, like, I need some warning. Like, this episode, or, like, yeah, episode 4, other than, like, her ending up in the hospital at the end, we knew nothing. And that was made me even more stressed, in the fact that we don't know anything about her, like, what's going on right now, or, like, really next episode besides the Tim thing. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's nerve-wracking. I'm terrified. I want to cry. Like, I'm so nervous. It's not even funny. Like, I'm gonna be on edge until the end of the season, but to be honest, I feel like I'm gonna be on edge during the break too, especially if they get renewed. They have to get renewed. I'm sorry, like, I don't think no is an answer, especially with what's going on. I need more. Because, like, I really don't know what the Tim-centric episodes are going to be about, and that's what's stressing me out so much. Like, so much. all we really know is that man gets beat up and has so many cuts on his damn face. That's literally all we know. And, like, somebody from his past. But who? Because we know, like, Jenny is not in the Tim-centric episodes, which is a lost opportunity. Like, they could have brought his sister back. I'm sorry. Like, Tim-centric episodes, we need the sister. Not only because she's his sister, but also because I love her. Like, she's not even in the season. It's just, like, it has to be insane. The fact that, like, something insane has to happen next episode with Tim because they're doing a Tim-centric episode. Or, like, Tim-centric episodes. Like, usually it's just one episode, but the fact it's, like, 3 episodes is nerve-wracking. I am nervous. Oh, my gosh. Like, I don't know what else to say because I'm so nervous and stressed about it. And this is all I'm going to be thinking about for the rest of my break. And it's just not funny. Like, I need it to be Tuesday right now. Like, right now, because I need to know what they mean by Tim leaving Lucy in the dark, because a part of me feels like it's gonna be just him not telling her something because she's going through it and he knows she is, and he just doesn't want to stress her out anymore, you know, stuff like that. But also because he's so used to, like, bottling his stuff up and not talking about it. I think it's either one of those. But then some people on Twitter are saying he's getting abducted, and that's what that means, and that's why it's a Tim-centric, like, few episodes. Like, I'm expecting it to be the first option. I really hope it's the first option, just because I do not want to deal with another one of my babies getting abducted. Like, I had to deal with Lucy. I had to deal with it with Angela. Please let Tim live. Please. Or not live, just please let him not get abducted. Like, my 3 favorite characters, like, cannot. Like, 2 of them already have. I need him to stay okay. Even though, like, here's the thing. I want feral Lucy. I do. But I don't want anything happening to Tim. Like, poor guy has been through enough the way it is. Like, oh my gosh. I'm so nervous. Especially because I feel like episode 6 is going to end on a cliffhanger. And then we're going to have to wait 3 weeks. And I feel like episode 5 is going to end on a cliffhanger too. It's just like, I'm so nervous. Oh my gosh. Like, I don't know what else. I really now don't know what else to say. Because it's just, oh my gosh. I don't know. Because I'm so nervous. I feel like I should just end the episode because I'm just such a disaster talking about this. Because, like, it's just, I get so into it. It's really not good, but it's also so much fun. Like, I highly recommend it to a point. Don't get as obsessed as I do. Like, it's kind of bad, but it's also so much fun. I don't know what else to say. I think the one thing I'll say before I end the episode, it has nothing to do with Chenford, but I want to say, if they do not give us more Wesley and Angela this season, I'm done. I'm sorry, but, like, where the hell are they? Like, Wesley popped up for like a second this episode, which I was so beyond happy to see him because I love him and I missed him. But it's like, where's Angela and Wesley? Like, a part of me wants something bad to happen to them just so we get more scenes of them, because I love them. Like, before Chenford happened, they were my number 1, and they're my number 2 now. But it's like, I love them so much, and I want more scenes of them together. Like, especially, like, right now, because we've had, like, none. And then I also would like to know the name of their child. Like, apparently we're not finding that out this season. I saw somewhere, like, from an interview that someone had, they said that that's not brought up this season. So hopefully season 7. The name right now is Lopez Baby Girl, I think, or number 2. It's one of those. I don't know. They need to get their act together. Give me more Lopez. That's literally all. The other things, that's just all I wanted to say for that. But I think I'm going to end the episode now. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry it was a disaster. I just needed to rant about this and let it out of my system. You know, it's just, I probably will do more episodes, like, of me ranting about stuff like this in the future, because I just need to, like, let it all out. Just, But yeah, sorry it was a disaster. Thank you again for listening, and I'll hopefully see you guys soon. Actually, not hopefully. I will see you guys soon because All Americans returning next week. So see you then.